Welcome to Sense and Nonsense A to Z, where we pick topics based off of the letter of the day. Today is episode 3 of season 1, featuring the letter C.
We're family and we're your hosts, AT and Z. So let's get started. So let me begin by saying ciao.
Ciao.
Did you notice I did the thing with my hand too?
I noticed.
Ciao.
I like it.
Make no mistake, that wasn't a touchdown signal. Did you watch the game?
I did.
All right. So what'd you think of the big game?
Well, I was happy to see The Rock. That was a surprise. I'm always happy to see The Rock.
Okay. Are you the person who watches this for the commercials and the halftime, or do you watch it for the football?
I don't care about the football.
Oh, see, I watch it for the football.
I know. But see, here's my thing. I can't watch sports anymore. Every time I watch this game, it reminds me of why I can't watch anymore. I couldn't have cared who won. Okay. Neither of these teams were mine. But by the second quarter, I'm screaming at the television. I'm screaming at these people.
There's a lot to scream about with all these stupid penalties.
Exactly. And just the drives in general, I just can't. I get too emotionally involved. And this is why I cannot on any kind of regular basis watch sports anymore, because it takes a ton of my energy to do so. And I just don't have it to give. I just don't have it.
Well, the Rams won 23-20 over the Bengals, and close game.
Yeah.
The game went back and forth. That's all you can ask for is a good game. And
Right.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
I've seen some sportscasters saying that it was the best game. And it's like, yeah, no, I don't think it was the best game.
No.
But it was a good game.
It was a good game. There was a lot of action.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Mhm.
And I think the Bengals gave it away, to be honest.
Mhm.
In that last Rams drive, there were so many penalties.
It was ridiculous at the end.
How about that idiot that ran on the field to celebrate the touchdown?
That's a knucklehead. That's just a plain old knucklehead.
I mean, you're fired.
Yeah, you're out of here.
You're fired. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That was
Dumb. Very dumb.
You don't invite a penalty in the biggest game of the year.
And that happens. These stupid penalties happen. And these are the things that hurt you at the end. Just
Mhm.
like a missed extra point.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to come back and bite them.
Well, it
But,
was for a while.
It was going
If they
to.
hadn't
Yeah.
have gotten 7 chances to make a touchdown at the end, then,
Yeah, I know.
it probably would have.
I know. Well, hey, it was a good game.
What did you think about the halftime show?
I'm not a big fan of hip hop or rap, so I tend not to watch the halftime show.
Okay.
I tend not to even pay attention to commercials because usually somebody's over and I run to the kitchen and do something during the commercial. So I don't catch a lot of them.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I heard it. I heard the halftime and it's like, whatever.
I just thought there were too many performers. There were like 5 performers and it just felt rushed to me. I like Dr. Dre, I like Eminem, I like Snoop Dogg. And I generally like Mary J. Blige, but I just didn't feel like their performances, especially her, I felt like she was rushed. I felt like she was more concerned with the outfit and the dance moves than the singing. Because I mean, she's an incredible singer.
Yeah,
but
she looked good. She looked good too.
Yeah, I didn't feel like she got enough time to just sing. I felt like it was too production oriented. I think if they had like 3 performers, the same point could have gotten across, but it wouldn't have been so rushed.
So here's the sports fan in me. I was impressed how fast they cleaned it up and got it out of there.
Yeah, they did. It took a minute to set up, but they broke it down quick.
Ooh, they broke it down quick. It was like,
Yeah.
wow, that was good. Okay,
Yeah.
back to the game. Okay, Z, so what's going on?
My cat.
Oh, what's the matter with the cat?
My cat decided to bring her food back up today all over my carpet.
Of course. You think they're going to barf on the floor?
so annoyed with her. And she knew it too, because as soon as she saw me coming, she ran into the kitchen and then did it again in the kitchen. If you knew I wanted you to do it in the kitchen, then why start out on the carpet? Just go in the kitchen.
I couldn't make it, Mommy.
She was 3 feet. She could make it. She could make it.
I saw a cute cartoon. It was Papa Cat and the little baby cat. And the baby cat was saying, I get to barf here. And the Papa Cat goes, oh, no, 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 little boy. You have to go over to the rug and barf on the rug. No, no, not on the floor. I was like, yep, that's about right.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's going on with May. What's up with you?
Well, I just found out some bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know, my favorite restaurant, Mastori's.
Yeah.
They closed on New Year's Day.
Oh, no.
I had no idea, or else I would have went over there and have gotten some bread before they closed.
Absolutely. They had the best cheese bread.
The best cheese bread.
Oh,
and
my
the
God.
best cinnamon bread.
Yeah.
When you-
Icon. It was an icon.
They've been around since forever.
Yeah.
The history of it started back in 1927.
Oh, my God.
When Mary's father, Mary Mastori's,
Yeah.
her father started the Heightstown Diner.
Uh-huh.
And then when she got married to Nick Mastori, all right, her maiden name was different, obviously.
Yeah.
But when she got married to Nick Mastori, they started the Bordentown Diner in 61. That burnt down. Then they built the Mastori's Diner in 67, right in that big property.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was massive.
buses used to come in all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be like
And the parking lot was massive, and it was always
Massive.
packed.
absolutely.
Always
And there was
packed.
always a line, but they always got you in and out because they had made so many additions to the
Yeah.
diner. They made the bar, they made the restaurant, the other
Yeah.
restaurant, the sunroom. I mean,
Yeah.
it was massive.
It was massive. Plus, they had that cool bakery in the front. That cool, with all the cases of all the.
And that's where you
Yummies.
waited.
Oh,
and
my
that's where you
God.
waited.
And that's where you
Okay,
waited.
so-
Oh, my
and
God.
all you could do is smell the bakery.
Oh,
I mean,
so good.
Fantastic. Then they sit you down. The first thing they do is they give you a loaf of cheese bread and a loaf of cinnamon bread.
it's the
and-
best.
It's the best. And they always gave you a lot of food.
Always.
A lot of food. You got your money's worth
Absolutely.
whatever you ordered there. So what I found out, because I was like upset,
Yeah.
what I found out was back when Mary died, she was 98. She died in 2020. And the
Oh.
family sold it to some investors, some local investor people.
Oh.
Well,
That always spells disaster.
and through the pandemic, they couldn't make ends meet. So they decided on January 1st to close it down.
Oh,
was like-
man.
I was like, I could not believe it. Do you remember? You remember? I know I told you a story. I know you're not going to remember this, but like you were around 7 years old and hubby and I took you to Mastori's. And, you know, you're reading the menu and we're going, okay, let her order. So of course we're thinking that you're going to order like maybe French fries or a cheeseburger or something. And you come out and you go to, it's like, okay, waitress, she'll order for herself. Oh, okay. Right. You order pork chops, a dinner of pork chops. And we're like, she ordered pork chops, this kid. I couldn't believe it. I mean, just so many memories. Like I said, my favorite
I
restaurant.
know. We used to go there all the time. All the time. Yeah.
All the time. Just
And
take
when
a
you-
trip there just to get the breads.
Just to get the bread. I was going to say, and then when you leave, you got a loaf of the
Yeah.
cinnamon and a loaf of the cheese.
Yeah, whatever was left over, they
Yeah.
were happy to put it in a bag for you.
Yeah.
And on your
Oh my
way
God.
out, you passed the bakery, and guess what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a big loaf of whatever
Exactly.
you wanted. Yeah, or a
Oh.
cake or what. Oh,
It was
I-
great because they had the small loaves on the table and they'd have one kind of stacked on top of another with a knife
Yeah,
just shoved
with it
right in the
shoved
middle.
right in. Yeah, exactly.
It was
Like on a
great.
cutting board, like a
Yeah.
cutting board.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
It
a great
was just, oh
restaurant.
my God, so many good memories there. I mean, that place was reliably good. Every time you went there, it was good. There was never like, oh, it's a Wednesday afternoon, so they put a weird chef in there and the food was kind of iffy. Always good. Any time of day you went, always good. Any
And
day.
the reason I found out is because a friend of mine whose birthday is just a couple days before mine, we caught up with each other, and what we would do is we would meet there and have lunch there.
Mm-hmm.
And since the pandemic, we didn't do that. So when I talked to her for her birthday, I said, you know, too bad we can't, you know, meet maybe in the parking lot or something and just have, you know, our chicken pot pies, because that's what we've been ordering, chicken
Yeah.
pot pies.
Yeah.
And we'll just hang out in the parking lot, but it's a little cold right now. And she said to me, you know, they closed. I was like, what?
Oh no.
Yeah, that's how I found out.
Oh.
And she lives not far from there. So she used to go there all the time too.
Oh my God.
Nice, huh?
Just sucks. Just
It's
another.
heartbreaking.
I know. It really is.
I know.
Speaking of the new year, it's not exactly the new year, but it was just Chinese New Year, the Lunar New
yeah.
Year,
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday,
What was that?
February 1st.
February 1st, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And now we're in the year of the tiger.
Yeah.
Specifically the metal tiger. Rawr, rawr, rawr.
The what tiger?
The metal tiger. Every sign has like earth, wood, metal, water.
Really?
Yeah, and they rotate, and this one's the metal tiger. My son's a tiger.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. His initials are even TGR. Tiger.
How about that?
I know that was a complete accident, but anyway.
My coat looks like a tiger.
Your coat looks like a tiger. Well, a little bit like
leopard.
a leopard, yeah. It's a big cat anyway.
Yeah.
Celebrations can last up to 16 days. And they culminate on February 15th with the Lantern Festival. You've seen that before, haven't you?
Mhm.
The
Absolutely.
lanterns going up. It was
Beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah. I'm a snake. That's
Are
my
you?
sign. Yeah.
Do you
And
know what I am?
you're a rooster.
Really?
Yeah, you are. You're a rooster. And actually, rooster is one of the only
I gotta write that down. I'm a rooster.
You're a rooster. Rooster is one of the only signs that snake gets along with real well. It's like you and dragons.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
How does a snake get along with a rooster? How does that work?
We're just not at odds with each other. I guess we got enough in common, but also enough different that we don't.
I'm thinking about the animal.
But that's what I'm saying. Like there's enough. The
I don't know.
attributes, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I get along with dragons too, and dragons are not real. So I mean, you know. It's just the attributes they assign to that character.
Okay.
Anyway, people born in the year of the tiger are vigorous and ambitious, daring and courageous, enthusiastic and generous, self-confident, with a sense of justice and a commitment to help others for the greater good.
Oh, neat.
My son is definitely self-confident and courageous and daring.
Don't they have like a different kind of calendar? It's
They have
like
the lunar-
based on the moon. Yeah.
The lunar calendar. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what this
okay.
is. Yeah.
All right.
And Jim Carrey, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Dr. Phil are all tigers.
Huh.
I know.
Okay.
So
right.
anyway, the advice, the general advice for this lunar year
Mhm.
is to be extra careful when driving, and also for water related events because they might be intense. So hurricanes, storms, tsunamis might be a little extra intense this year.
Have you been watching the Olympics at all?
A little bit.
Did they do anything with the Chinese New Year's with the Olympics?
Not a thing that I've seen.
Not a thing. I
Not a
wonder
thing.
why.
I don't know.
I would
But you
think
know
that would go hand in hand, you know,
I
because it just
know.
started.
I know, but the opening ceremony, I didn't watch all the opening ceremonies,
Okay.
but my mother said that they were kind of boring. She watched the whole thing and she was like falling asleep.
Huh.
So
Okay.
yeah, and I guess numbers have been way down.
Yeah. They weren't letting anybody in.
No, just for watching.
Oh, that too?
Yeah,
Well,
no, they're not
I'd-
letting anybody in. I mean, the stadiums are bare,
Yeah.
but no,
Hmm.
people are not watching. I guess because it's there's a lot of controversy surrounding this Olympics.
Yeah. The only thing I've been watching is curling.
You really?
I have been. You want to hear about curling?
Well, isn't it like shuffleboard on ice?
It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
All right.
All right. So
Yeah.
I actually did some research on curling. You wanna hear?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So it began in Scotland in the early 1500s. And the the reason
That's
it's
like
called
golf
curling,
too, right? Golf was invented
pretty
in
much.
there, right around
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Scotland.
yeah,
They're very, very ingenious.
yeah. Well, what else is
Scottish
there to
people.
do? It's, you know,
Yeah, invent stuff, right?
yeah.
So the reason it's called curling is because the granite stone, and it's called a stone,
Okay.
tends to curl on the ice. So that's why they call it curling.
I
All right.
see.
Now, the actual stones can be between 38 and 44 pounds. I
Ooh,
was a little surprised when I researched that
yeah,
because that's a 6-pound difference, that it could vary that much.
yeah, yeah.
I thought that was weird. But anyway, circumference can be up to 36 inches with a diameter of 11 inches. And the height of it can be no more than 4.5 inches. That's including the handle. With the
Really?
weight too, with the weight, it has to include the handle. Yes, 38 to 44 pounds. Yep, yep. So I was watching mixed doubles. So it was male, female on
Uh-huh.
each team.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I like that.
I did too. I did too.
Yeah.
But typically in the Olympics, you're going to see a team of 4,
Okay.
4 on each side.
Yeah.
And they get the 8 stones, and each person has to throw 2 stones or slide 2 stones, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
So the object of the game is to get it in that target area, and you can bump somebody else out as you're, and that's the idea, is to bump the other person out to give you a better position
Okay.
in that target.
All right. Yeah.
But the uniqueness of this sport is obviously the sweeping.
Oh my goodness, the sweeping.
I know. So the sweeping,
Furious sweeping.
serious. So the sweeping causes less friction. So this way the stone can go further and go pretty much straighter.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Now, just like with any sport, there's always controversies.
Oh
right?
boy. Uh-huh.
Well, curling is no exception.
Of course not.
Back in 2014 was Broomgate,
Oh,
where they introduced a waterproof fiber to sweep with.
okay.
Well, they felt that it made the sport way too easy.
Oh.
And that the professional curlers pretty much protested and said, well, then anybody can, it doesn't take much skill now because you made it too easy. So the World Curling Federation stepped in and banned those brooms.
That is absurd. That's absurd.
Is that hysterical?
Yeah. Let's make this sport less accessible. Good idea. That will work well for our numbers.
Yeah.
That's why I never even heard of it until like 1998. I never heard of curling before that. They busted out with this thing and I was like, what in the hell is this?
Yeah. And I got to tell you something. It's a joke between me and hubby. We don't call it curling. We call it hurling. Which goes with the kitty cat story before, your kitty cat story.
Yes, my silly cat.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
God.
Talk about cats. Do you want to do sense and nonsense? Because I got a cat edition.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's do that.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
So, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Sense or nonsense? A house cat is genetically more than 80% tiger.
Yeah, sense.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Domestic cats and tigers share more than 95.6% of their DNA, from which they split off the evolutionary tree about 10.8 million years ago. Now, when I did that research, I was like, are you sure it was 10.8 million years ago? You sure it wasn't like 10.9?
Well, it's
How do they pinpoint this stuff?
I don't know, but this is why my cat bites me all the time. Because she's 95% tiger.
95.6%
95.6% tiger. This is why she attacks my calves and my knees and feet all the time.
So talk about Year of the Tiger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, number 2. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sense or nonsense? A cat was mayor of an Alaskan town for 20 years. Sense or nonsense?
That's sense.
It is. It's correct. An orange tabby named Stubbs was the mayor of a small town in Alaska, Talkeetna, from 1997 until he died in 2017. He had several uncontested elections, and although he didn't hold any legislative power, he was loved by locals and tourists. He was a tourist attraction, and
Yeah.
they got about 30 to 40 tourists a day to see him.
Oh my goodness. I saw that on one of those channels that do like animal
Like Animal Planet thing.
not like Animal Planet, but just like one of those weird off stations that show like cat videos or dog videos and stuff like that. Yeah, and every once in a while they stick an actual program in there. And during COVID, it was so horrible. Sometimes we just needed to laugh. And so we would stick that on and watch cute animals doing stupid stuff. And I saw that cat, that mayor cat on one of those programs on that channel. Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question for you.
Okay.
A cat was purposely sent into space. Sense or nonsense?
I say nonsense. I know a dog was sent purposefully into space, but I don't think
a dog was, yes.
Yeah.
But so was a cat.
Really?
As part of a French space program, 14 female cats were trained for a space flight. And on October 18th, 1963, a cat by the name of Félicite, who was a calico, mainly a black and white calico, was sent into space. So she was also called the Astro Cat.
Oh my goodness.
Electrodes were implanted into her brain so that neurological activity could be monitored throughout the flight. So she survived the 13-minute flight, but are you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
They purposely put her down 2 months later for scientific research. I was like, no, why did you do that? The poor kitty.
That's not cool.
That's not cool. They sent her in. And then there was another cat a couple months after that they tried to send, and the capsule just blew. And they 86th the program. I was like, oh, that's terrible. That's a terrible story.
That is terrible. Well, cats are aliens anyway. They're not from this planet. You got to know that. They're the only animal that can get diabetes and then decide to not have it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
And then had it again. And then had it again.
Spontaneously stop having diabetes.
Unbelievable.
Isn't that incredible? They're the only ones that can do that. That's why you have to be so careful. You have to wash them so carefully when you're giving them when they're on an insulin regimen, because at any time they can just decide to not be diabetic anymore. And if you give them insulin, you could kill them.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. That happened to me with Joe Willie.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible. I have some little tidbit facts.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the US, there are approximately 88 million pet cats versus 75 million pet dogs, which makes sense because cats are smaller and you usually have two.
And not only that, but they have more litters, don't they? Don't they have like lots of cats in their litters?
Cats have more litters.
Yeah.
In ancient Egypt, when a family cat died, the family members would shave off their eyebrows as a sign of mourning.
Weird.
Can you imagine? This is a story I really like. Are you ready for this?
Hang on. I know that ancient Egyptians had a really serious relationship with their cats. Like they gave cats all kinds of powers.
They drew them all the time. Yeah.
I mean, they would put cats in tombs and stuff with them and everything to like protect them in the afterlife and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Sure.
They were very serious
about cats. Yeah. Well, enough to shave off your eyebrows, you know?
Yeah, well, that's some hardcore mourning.
I know.
I don't think even people will die. I'm not shaving off my eyebrows for anybody. Forget it.
Oh man, this is the one story I really liked. I'll make it real quick.
Okay.
Abraham Lincoln loved cats.
Yeah, they had a lot of cats.
He was the first president to have cats in the White House. So Tabby and Dixie were gifts from the Secretary of State, and he had rescued 3 motherless kittens when he was seeing General Grant during the Civil War. But this is the part I really like. When Mary Todd was asked if the president had any hobbies, she said, cats, and said that he would just play with them for hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he liked dogs. He had bunnies in the White House too.
He's a great guy.
Great guy.
She was a lunatic. He was a great guy.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couple more things.
Okay.
Cats can drink seawater because their kidneys can filter out the salt.
No kidding.
Each cat's nose is like a unique fingerprint.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think dogs are like that too, though, aren't they? Their
I don't,
noses.
I don't know.
I
I
think
don't know
dogs
about
are.
dogs. I
Yeah.
think, but I know for a fact it's cats.
Yeah.
And the last little tidbit I've got was that Isaac Newton was attributed to have invented the kitty door, which was
Oh,
essentially a hole in the bottom of the door so the cat could go in and out.
but it had a flap. It had a flap, I think. Did it
I
not?
have seen photos of old doors with no flaps and just a hole.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
How
so
can you keep out weather and bugs and stuff?
maybe there was some material or something in the cat, but the photos that I researched had like these old,
Just a hole?
just a hole. So anyway, he was attributed for inventing
All
the kitty
right. Well,
door.
good for him. I mean,
Yep.
cat doors
Yep.
and gravity. Well
Yep.
done.
Well done, Isaac.
The other thing about cats that I want to say is that when you're pregnant, you're very susceptible to adopting cats, Miss AT. Miss AT, when I was pregnant, brought me a cat that she rescued.
Yep.
Basically dumped this cat on my very pregnant 8-month-old
okay.
belly
Okay.
and said, here, just hold her for a little bit. Knowing full well there was no way that I would be able to resist this cat.
You had no pets at the time.
We had just moved across the country.
But you had no pets at the time.
I was 8 months pregnant.
Again, you had no pets at the time.
Oh,
you wanted her anyway.
Well, she was
Come on.
adorable. She was the most adorable
beautiful.
cat. Yeah.
She's
really
beautiful.
Now
She has the most unique tail.
she's got a super cute white patch on her one of her back
She's
haunches
adorable.
too.
She's adorable.
Now she's barfing on my rug.
Yeah. Join the club.
Yesterday was Valentine's Day, so I'd like to take a minute to talk about Cupid.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You sure?
So
That cute little fellow?
yeah,
Chubby,
so
chubby little guy?
yeah, he wasn't always. The Romans made him that way.
Yes, they did. The Greeks did not have him as chubby.
He was Eros in the Greek
Eros,
version,
yes,
and he was
yes.
he was a little older, and
Mhm.
he had a bow and a quiver full of arrows, but he had gold arrows to ignite desire and leaden arrows to ignite aversion. So he did both things, Eros. But anyway, the Romans
Very
got a hold of him.
talented.
Yeah, yeah. The Romans got a hold of him, and he was the god of desire, erotic love, attraction, and affection.
Mhm.
And his parents were Mars and Venus, or Aries and
Right.
Aphrodite. And the Romans made him look like a cherubic infant with the bow and arrow. But the 19th century Victorians were the first that began associating him, the cherubic version of him, with Valentine's Day by
Mhm.
featuring him on Valentine's Day cards, even back then. And Cupid was a big symbol of Victorian times. So if you look at a lot of papers or stationery and stuff like that from that time,
Mhm.
Cupid is featured.
Cute.
Cupid is also a dating site now.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
But anyway, Cupid
Well,
is now associated with Valentine's Day.
with cards comes the gifting for
Gifting.
Valentine's
Yep.
Day,
Yeah.
of which, obviously the favorite is chocolates
Chocolate and flowers.
and flowers.
Yeah.
So here's my theory,
Okay.
on this Valentine's Day gifting.
Okay.
So if you want to gift like something or like around $20, $25, it's chocolate.
Right.
If you want to go like 50 to 100, it's flowers.
Uh-huh.
All right. If you want to do a dinner,
Mm-hmm.
100 to 200. right?
Well, Valentine's Day's dinners, they just jack them up. And what's even worse is it's usually a fixed menu. You don't even get to pick off of the menu. It's like
so you're saying it's more than 200 now?
it's probably more than 200 now.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of any place good anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you could go to Mass Stories anymore.
You can't go to Mass Stories. That's over.
It's over.
It's over. And then I was going to say that, and if anybody wants to spend some bucks for
Mhm.
Valentine's Day, it's jewelry. Thank you.
It's jewelry. It should be jewelry anyway, friends.
It should
It should always be
It should
jewelry.
be all of the above. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Give
Yeah.
me chocolates, flowers,
Yeah.
dinner,
Yeah.
and jewelry.
And
I'm good.
jewelry.
And
yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
No kidding. I'm a huge fan of the chocolates. I'll be honest. I like chocolate cake, but I'm not a huge chocolate person.
I love chocolate.
I don't.
Oh,
I like the chocolate cake. A
chocolate
good
covered
chocolate
cherries.
cake.
Chocolate
Oh,
covered
no.
cherries.
Oh, no, never,
Oh,
never.
no, those are my favorite.
Yucky. Yucky.
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite? I know you like cookies. Your
Chocolate chip.
chocolate chip.
Mhm.
I like chocolate chip. I like snickerdoodles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like them for a change.
I like snickerdoodles.
Yeah.
I also like oatmeal cookies without
I do.
raisins.
I like oatmeal cookies with butterscotch.
I've never had that, but I don't like them with
Really?
raisins. I don't like raisins. No,
I
my
like
mother
raisins.
OD'd me on raisins when I was a kid.
Ah, because that was an easy thing to throw in your lunchbox.
It was the only candy I was allowed was
Ah.
raisins. And you know, since I became an adult, I said to her, you know, there's more sugar in raisins than there is in M&Ms. She's like, is there really? Like, yeah. She's like, oh crap.
And I like M&Ms. I like
know,
the
me too.
peanut butter
Me too.
M&Ms.
I like the
Yeah.
peanut M&Ms.
Oh, no, me peanut butter M&Ms.
Yeah.
Yeah, addicted.
Yeah.
Are you ready for pet peeves, stuff that ticks us off?
Yeah. 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 Let's do that.
Yeah, so for the letter C, this is what I came up with. Coupons.
I hate coupons.
I do too. I mean,
hate
it's
them.
ridiculous. I realize the significance of coupons. It's to market and advertise something. I get it. I totally get it. And the stores that have the circulars and you have to cut out for that store and you can only use it in that store.
Yeah.
It's for the loyalty stuff. I get
Right.
that. I get all of that. But they're the biggest pain in the neck. And now what they're doing is that they're making you log onto their site with your loyalty card and downloading their digital coupons onto your card. So this way, when you go there, you get the discounted price. So you have to pretty much shop before you shop. So what I do is, okay, you want me to do that? Fine. I download everything. Beep, 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 beep. You know, it's like, I don't know what I'm going to buy.
Yeah.
I don't know what, you know, when I get there, whether I'm going to decide that, yeah, you know what, I will get that can of beans, whatever. You know, it's just ridiculous. I'd rather see, just give me a sale. Just give me a sale so I don't have to fiddle with these coupons or worry about them. Just give me the discounted price and be done with it.
Well, they do that so that people like me who cannot be bothered with a freaking coupon don't get the price. You know, they don't get it all. Because when I was a kid, my mother was obsessed with coupons. She had envelopes, and this is still when you had to cut everything out. Envelopes upon envelopes upon envelopes with coupons from friggin' 5 cents off to $1.50 off. And it used to drive me friggin' nuts. And she wouldn't buy anything unless she had a coupon for it. Even if it was 10 cents off, it didn't matter. She had to have a coupon.
I used to have this pouch and it had categories. And what you did is you slid the coupons into the categories.
Well, she just made her own with the
and you'd
envelope.
walk, right. And
Yeah.
you know, ShopRite used to give them out.
Yeah.
So ShopRite, when you go there, you bring your ShopRite pouch with your coupons.
Yeah.
And as you're, dairy, let me go into my little dairy
It's
index.
absurd. It's absurd.
It's ridiculous.
So when I became an adult and started doing my own shopping, I swore off coupons. I would never use coupons. And even now, first of all, I forget that I have them. If I even attempt to have a coupon, I forget most of the time because I'm not in the habit of doing the coupon thing. But in addition to that, like,
it's time consuming.
It's time consuming. And I don't want to sit there and have to download, because Target has it too now. It's like, do you have Target this thing? And I'm like, no, I don't want all that crap on my phone. First of all,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And I don't want to have to download.
How many apps can you have
for every friggin' store I go to?
Yeah. I know
Just forget
BJ's
it.
does the digital coupons
Yeah,
too.
it's like, no, it's a
I know.
racket anyway. And it's just another way for them to track the things that you buy. So
that's part of the thing. Exactly. Exactly. Did you come up with a pet peeve?
I have a
for
pet
the letter
peeve.
C.
Yeah, it's Carolina
ready.
comeback. Carolina comeback.
Carolina comeback.
Yeah. So there was a different Carolina comeback, but this Carolina comeback has to do with COVID and coming back to life after like the lockdown of COVID in the beginning.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, it's used a lot in the ABC news channels down here, and they use it constantly. And they started using it in 2020. when it was so ridiculously premature. It's not even funny. This business is getting ready for their Carolina comeback. We're gearing up for our Carolina comeback over and over and over. A comeback is to return to life or vitality, to regain a former favorable condition or position. That did not happen in 2020. It barely happened in 2021. The latter half of 2021, things started to percolate back around here.
It just did again. We just had a spike in mid-January.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like 51% of small businesses report job openings that they can't fill, which is more than double the historical average. Global supply chain issues abound. If they're open, their revenue has decreased. Coronavirus in wastewater is higher than it's been in a year here. Reported cases are spiking higher than they've ever been. Over 4,000 people are currently hospitalized. And you're talking to me about our Carolina comeback.
Well, we just hit the 900,000 mark of deaths in this country.
It's so ridiculous. It's the news media trying to sell you on this concept to make you feel like it's not as bad. But the problem is they'll be like, here's a Carolina comeback story in one segment, and then the next segment is telling us about how horrible everything still is. It's like a mixed message.
Well, anyway. I guess part of the reason I haven't heard that is because I'm not spending that much time in North Carolina. No less,
but it was crazy, especially in 2020.
I don't sit there watching the news either.
It was in 2020 I was. Just constantly with the Carolina comeback. And I just heard it the other day and I'm like, really? Because when you actually talked to the business owner, it didn't sound all that great.
Yeah, they're still it sounded like
they were really still struggling and a lot of crap was happening. It's like, maybe you're not exactly hitting a mark with this Carolina comeback thing.
So I just checked, you guys in North Carolina are averaging about 100 deaths a day, maybe a little bit more. So you have a total of 21,000 deaths. Us in New Jersey, we're averaging under 100 a day, but our total death count is 32,000.
Yeah. Well, that's because we're making a Carolina comeback.
Yeah, but listen to this. Your new cases are about 20,000 a day.
I know.
Our new cases are about 3,000.
I know.
Yeah,
it's because people down here, by and large, are fed up with wearing a mask.
Yeah,
and places
I see it
just
aren't
enforcing
they're not enforcing it. No.
And so like I've given up.
Everybody wants to be done with this.
I know, I get it. And we're kind of at a point where I hate this expression too, but at this point it is what it is.
Another expression.
I hate it. I hate that it is what it is, but it kind of is at this point. The people who are going to get vaccinated have been vaccinated. The people that are not. The people who are going to wear a mask are going to wear a mask, and the people that don't, that's where we are. There's no more convincing to be had, really. The only people that may change their minds are people who have a family member or something die because of COVID.
Exactly. Or get very sick or get very sick, of which they get scared.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we are right now. This is about it. Either way, the numbers are not going to change all that much for people who are vaccinated and people who are wearing masks.
True.
This is where we are. And so I'm just like, I'm fed up being mad about it. I'm fed up being
I'm done with that too.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, wear it or don't wear it,
whatever you want to do.
Whatever.
I'm protected.
My kid's got his vaccinations. So the thing that scared me the most was making him sick. So he's vaccinated. If he gets it now, odds are he's not going to land in the hospital from it.
Right.
So I'm just like, whatever.
Yep. He's a healthy young kid.
He's healthy.
Chances are very nil.
Yeah. I mean, I've done the best I can for him, and he's back at school. So
now for people who are over 65 and for people who are overweight.
Yeah.
That's the
or
problem.
Have lung problems
or
asthma
have
and whatnot.
Conditions or have conditions. I know they're getting hit hard.
I mean, this is where I'm at with it. I'm at the point where it's just like, what are you gonna do? Exactly. I'm sick of being afraid all the time, and I'm sick of being angry about it. So
I agree. Since I'm a big sports fan, I want to mention Clark Gillies with the letter C.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just passed of cancer last month. He was only 67.
Oh.
Yeah. Clark Gillies was a hockey player born in Canada, and he was picked first round by the New York Islanders in a 1974 NHL draft. Even though I'm a huge Ranger fan, don't get me wrong, since I was a kid, we had this TV service that was called Womeco Home Theater, and it was the only paid service that you can get at this time in New Jersey and New York.
Mhm.
And you needed a descrambler box,
Mhm.
but they had all of the Islander games. So I got to see the Islanders pretty closely.
Mhm.
He played left wing between the years of 74 and 86, and he helped them win 4 Stanley Cups in a row.
Wow.
80, 81, 82, and 83. So as a tradition of the Stanley Cup, this is a cute story. You get to take the Stanley Cup home for 24 hours. So
Mhm.
each player gets a turn.
Right.
When he took his home, he let his German Shepherd dog eat out of it. So when the word got out and they asked him, why did you do that? He said, well, why not? He's a good dog. So I just wanted to mention Clark Gillies. Our condolences to the Gillies family.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about our favorite C movies.
Oh, okay. It's that time.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm going to go first, okay?
Yeah, please.
My favorite C movie, and this is a favorite,
Okay.
is Clue.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I haven't seen that in a long time.
I love that movie. I love it. I've
It's a
seen
great
it
movie.
so many times.
It's a great movie.
And
Did you ever play the board game?
Of course. Of course
I can remember a friend having that. And it's like, it just didn't go well, and I don't think we ever played it again.
I actually also have a Harry Potter version of Clue. That movie, I love that movie. There's so many excellent people in it. I mean,
the cast is phenomenal.
It's just so good. Eileen Brennan, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd.
Kahn. I loved her.
Well,
with all the Mel Brooks movies.
Yeah.
I love her.
Michael McKean, Leslie Ann Warren, Howard Hessman. I mean, great cast.
Marty Mull.
Yeah, Martin Mull. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Colonel Mustard. I think he was Colonel Mustard.
He was.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the whodunit. And I also love the fact that it had 3 endings. They filmed it with 3 endings.
Yeah. That was confusing in the beginning, but yeah, you got what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the board game, it's going to be somebody different every time. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
But I love watching Tim Curry do the explanations
at the
the endings.
And everybody following.
Yeah, running back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, I just love it. It's silly, but it's so good. And there are so many good witty one-liners in that movie.
Well, didn't you just know that somebody was going to say Scarlett?
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Yeah. When you knew that her name was Miss Scarlett. You had to know that was going to come. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. But I love Tim Curry. Psych, that show Psych.
Mm-hmm.
They did a spoof episode.
Oh, did they?
Called 100 Clues. Yeah. And Christopher Lloyd and Martin Mull and Leslie Ann Warren showed up for that. They were in that episode. Yeah. And James Roday played the Tim Curry character. And I think they did that also. Funny. He could just go, no, like Tim Curry did in that movie. But it's just so good. And that movie has a super cult following.
Right? Yeah. And people dress up like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Exactly, which is another Tim Curry movie.
There you go.
Yeah. Tim as Dr. Frankenfurter, because he originated that character on stage in the Rocky Horror Show. He created that character and then he reprised it for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I love that. And my favorite song.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the Sweet Transvestite.
Sweet Transvestite.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Oh.
It was so good. Love it.
As soon as you see him, it's like it's a shock to your system.
Well, it's so almost
exciting.
Scary. Yeah, it's scary at first.
Yeah. And then he busts out and he's got that corset on
Yeah.
and he's working it and he's singing. And I'm just like, every time I see that, I've seen it so many times, I just like giggle and clap the whole time because I just love it so much. But I wanted to bring that up also because of Tim, but because of Meatloaf, who just passed. He played
Yeah.
Eddie
I
in
know.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
A
He
couple
did a
weeks
great job.
ago.
Yeah,
He really did. I liked him in that too.
me too. Hot
Yeah.
Patootie is a good song anyway.
But you had brought up Clue. Do you remember
Yeah.
the singing Telegram Girl? I mean, she was only on for like
Yeah.
seconds, and they
Yeah.
opened the door, they shot her, and that was it.
Yeah.
You know who that was?
No.
That was Jane from the Go-Go's.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I had
Yeah.
no idea. I've seen that
Yeah.
movie so many times.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Wow.
I thought that was neat.
She was the person that Professor Plum lost his license. She was one of his patients.
That they had an affair or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Christopher
mean,
Lloyd
the
character.
plots in that is
It was
just
crazy.
It was just nuts.
I
But it
know.
was so much, a fun movie.
It's
It
very
really was
fun.
a fun movie.
Yeah, very fun. And it really is the thing that started my love of Tim Curry, that movie. I liked him in Legend. He's also my favorite actor, by the way. So I'm just going to parlay
Oh,
into
so
him.
your favorite C actor is Tim Curry?
Yeah, Tim Curry.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you put that
Yeah.
all together. Okay,
Yeah, I figured why not, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
He was in Legend and he played the Lord of Darkness, and he was covered in makeup, in this red makeup, and he had these massive horns. Like you couldn't even tell it was him because he changes his voice and everything, and it was really cool. I mean, do you know he does a lot of voice work?
Yes, he does.
A lot of voice work.
Well, I think it's because he has to now, right?
Well, even before he had the stroke, he did a lot because he's got such a
He has a
great
great voice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. He was also Pennywise in It, in the original It. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's really like deathly afraid of clowns as well. So like on the set,
There's a lot of people are afraid of clowns.
Me too. I hate clowns. I hate them. And my godfather used to buy me these like ceramic clowns, music boxes, and all kinds of things for my birthday. And my mother made me keep them in my room. And I remember turning 18 and having a garage sale and finally being able to get rid of these clowns. Oh my God, I hate clowns.
Well, I think it has to do with all the horror movies with clowns.
Well,
but you like horror movies.
I don't like horror movies that much.
Oh,
I don't.
Okay.
I don't like
supernatural stuff.
I like supernatural films, but
Okay.
I don't like horror movies. I don't like slasher films. I don't like those.
Okay.
And I never watched It because of the clown. And then I find out that Tim Curry's the clown, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my
and
God.
they couldn't have any reflective surfaces on the set while he was in makeup, because
no
that's
kidding.
how scared he was. Yeah. But I know, how funny is that? But he does so much voice work. He actually voiced a couple of characters on Little Guy's favorite cartoon.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And when I
That's
heard
cool.
it, I mean, his voice is distinctive, you know. When I heard it, I was going nuts but that's all right. He never wanted a typical career. He always wanted to play different kinds of characters, and he really sought to do that, to play all different kinds.
Well, I think he nailed it.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's played so many iconic characters, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, people dress up and go and do shadow performances and watch the movie. I mean,
that's been forever. People have been doing that.
Yeah.
Forever.
And serious too. Some people devote their lives to doing this.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And for the 35th anniversary edition, they held like a contest for all these people from all over the world that do Rocky Horror Picture Show to come and audition to do the shadow cast for the 35th anniversary. And they put it on a Blu-ray.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a big deal. I mean, they had people from Berlin, from London, from all over doing this. It's crazy. That's a crazy kind of following.
I'm going to give you a did you know?
All right.
Did you know that Susan Sarandon and I, with my family, went to the same high school?
Really?
Edison High. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. I love Susan
I do
Sarandon.
too.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
If you were in the shadow cast, a Rocky Horror Picture Show,
okay,
what character would you pick to be?
I got to think about this. Okay. It would have to be between Magenta and Columbia.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I always have pictured you as Columbia doing the tap dancing and singing with Meatloaf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what. Yeah. There you go. That's
Yeah.
what I would do. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I would have been Magenta. I would have picked Magenta.
That would have been perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
I could see you doing that.
Yeah. I don't think I have the chutzpah to play Frank. So yeah, I think I'll stick to Magenta. I think I could do a credible job as her, teaching the time warp and everything. Oh, the time warp.
Yeah.
Just to jump to the left.
That. I love that song. That's really the only song that I hear on the radio anymore. I'm not sure if it's like on Classic Rewind or Classic Vinyl, but one of them plays that every so often. And I'm like, yeah, there you go.
That's awesome. It's an awesome song. I think it's probably the most famous song from the movie. Yeah.
I think so too. But yeah, you would do a great job with Magenta, and I would just tap dance the whole time.
You would be awesome. Every time I see that movie and I see Columbia, I know it's AT's role. Like, that's AT's role. I knew it. So when you said that, it made me so happy. But I've seen this movie so many times that it's like permeated my subconscious. And I've actually had dreams where I'm at work and it's my job to teach people the time warp. That's how messed up.
Did they get it?
We were doing it. We were definitely doing it. So yeah, but it was the whole thing, the instructions: jump to the left, step to the right, hands on your hips, bring your knees in tight. Yeah, the whole thing. It just makes me so happy whenever I see that, because it's,
And everybody did, let's do the time warp again.
Exactly. Yeah. It's
great dream.
Well, it beats some of the other ones I've had, let me tell you.
For sure. Like one of mine with the mask. I couldn't remember my mask.
Oh my goodness. It's terrible.
Dreams.
But do you realize that Tim Curry's agent did not want him to take the role of Frankenfurter? Could you imagine?
No kidding.
Yeah, he thought it was going to ruin his career. Could you imagine?
That actually helped his career.
It made him. Are you kidding?
Did he fire him?
I don't know. But can you imagine anybody else?
You don't have good judgment. You're out of here.
I know. I can't imagine anybody else doing that role. I just can't imagine.
No.
Who could possibly do it?
No, there's only one person.
There's only one. The 50th anniversary is coming up in 2025. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for that, because I'm sure there'll be something.
Ooh. Yeah, that's when we should dress up.
We should. That would be fun.
I think so.
So that's my favorite C movie and C actor.
Cool. All right. That was great.
What about you?
Okay. So my favorite movie would be, and this would be a favorite movie too. I mean, not just because it starts with C, it would be a favorite movie.
Okay.
It would be the original City Slickers.
Oh, yes. That was a great movie.
That was a great movie. Exactly. And Billy Crystal. And I'm going to also go with C actor, even though he's my favorite comedian. Is Billy Crystal. He's my favorite comedian.
That's a C too.
That's a C too, but he would be my favorite actor under the letter C. Yep.
He's great. He's great. I love him.
Absolutely. So I'm sure, how many times have you seen City Slickers?
Oh,
enough, right?
Yeah. Maybe only a dozen or so. Yeah. Yeah. Because it used to be on TV a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And didn't you just love Jack Palance?
I mean, he was so grizzled and
so tough. He was tough.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with him, man.
And Billy Crystal was so Billy Crystal.
Oh, they were the perfect foil for each other.
And no doubt. And I mean,
those campfire scenes. Oh my God.
The campfire scenes are great. And the coffee grinder scene is great.
How about when they first ride the horses, and then the next day they're all walking funny, and they're sitting in the water trying to soothe their tushes.
And Billy Crystal going, I'm on vacation. So good.
It's
What
a
a
good
great,
movie. It is a
yeah,
really good
it
movie.
was really a great movie. And you know what I loved? That he brought home that calf,
I
Norman.
know.
I loved that.
Yes, Norman, that's
Norman.
right.
Yep.
And in the second one, he got huge. He was
He got
huge.
for a year. It was like a
Yeah.
year. And I'm not a big fan of sequels. I'm really not, but
Yeah.
they did a decent job
Yeah,
with
they
that.
did.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was my favorite sequel, but it was
Right.
decent.
Yeah.
It was decent.
Yeah.
So
They
anyway,
kept
but
him in the apartment. How the hell do you
look,
keep a
I
count?
not a clue. Not a clue.
It was funny though. It was really good.
Yeah.
The whole thing was really good.
Yeah.
Did you know that Bill Henderson, who was the cop in Clue that shows up at the house,
Mhm.
was also in City Slickers?
No kidding.
Yeah, he was Ben Jessup in City Slickers.
How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, right? It's so funny
That's
that you picked
cool.
that. Yeah.
It's a fun movie. It
It's
really
a fun
is.
movie, but you know what's in that movie is soon that parts of that movie are going to not be able to land with certain audiences. Actually, they may now already, because they're talking about how to set and record on a VCR
Oh yeah.
while also
Yeah.
watching television.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Explaining that. Yeah.
that whole section, that whole joke is probably lost on kids now.
Just like
They're what
dialing
the
a
hell is-"
phone. What do you mean
Yeah.
dialing a
Yeah.
phone?
What's that about?
What
Why
is
does that phone have a cord? Is that a telephone? I know. Yeah. So that whole section, that's obsolete.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie holds up.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's had a hell of a career.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
for us, he's 73 years old now, and
wow.
he's done stuff like forever. I remember originally he started on the variety shows and the late night shows. He would do a stand-up routine and throw in his impressions like
Yeah.
of Howard Cosell, Muhammad Ali. He also did Sammy Davis Jr. But he did this TV sitcom. It was called Soap. It was so funny. It was just so funny. It only lasted for 4 years. It was about two sisters. One was really, really rich. Do you remember the show Benson?
Yeah.
That was the spinoff of this show.
Oh.
Robert Goulet was Benson on this show for the rich people. He was their butler.
Oh.
Yeah.
I liked that show, Benson.
Yeah. Yeah. He was good.
Yeah.
He was really good on this show too. But the thing that people would probably remember the show best about was Chuck and Bob. Chuck was a ventriloquist, and he had Bob, the dummy, with him all the time. And everybody wanted to kill that dummy because he was so obnoxious. And he would go missing, that sort of thing. So this show was like your typical soap opera, but it was so funny.
Aww.
And Billy Crystal his character was probably the first openly gay character on TV.
Oh, wow.
And he was hysterical.
Oh, I'm sure.
What a great show. At one time, Time Magazine had the best 100 shows. And this isn't too long ago. They rated this show as one of the best.
Oh, wow.
Shows. So then he started doing movies. And his first movie was Rabbit Test, which was written by Joan Rivers.
I've never heard of this movie.
Yeah, it was a funny movie. And of course, Joan Rivers, she's hysterical. It was about the first pregnant man, the world's first pregnant man.
Oh my goodness. How did they manage that?
It was funny. It was funny. I mean, he's done some great movies.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite is Princess Bride.
Miracle Max.
Oh my God.
He was great.
Miracle.
He was great. I also liked Running Scared with Gregory Hines. I like that movie a lot.
Definitely. When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, iconic.
And Analyze This with Robert De Niro.
Yes, that was a funny movie. That was funny.
De Niro was good in that too.
I know.
Yeah.
Who knew he could do comedy?
Oh yeah.
Well, back then I'm saying now,
okay.
We Meet the Fockers and all that business.
Yeah.
But back then it was a little bit eye-opening. I loved Monsters Inc. He did Mike Wazowski. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, when he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, they put a little footprint of Mike Wazowski's next to Billy's hands.
Oh, for the Chinese theater plot thing?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
And
I gotta check that out.
yeah, he's got a signature there too, Mike W. there on his.
Oh,
I know, isn't that
that's nice.
sweet? Yeah,
So they're attached forever.
forever. Well,
In
they should
cement.
be. Yeah. Well, they did the two Monsters Inc. movies
Mhm.
and about 3 million things of merchandising.
Of course.
And they're doing a TV show, Monsters at Work, for Disney Plus, and Billy Crystal's doing Mike's voice for that too.
Another Disney Plus, huh?
Yeah, yeah, they're taking over the world. They are. They really are.
Oh man, I don't have Disney Plus. I can't watch the Beatles thing.
I know. I know.
Okay, I got to figure something out on that. But anyway, I was going to bring up SNL.
Okay.
I'm a big SNL fan.
I know.
And don't get me wrong, my favorite is the original. I'm an original kind of person. All right, with Dan Aykroyd, Belushi, Gilda Radner,
right,
Bill Murray, Jane Curtin. They were just the best. They were just the best. But one of my favorite years is when Billy Crystal did Saturday Night Live. It was season 10, 1984 to 1985, with Christopher Guest, Martin Short, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Jim Belushi, Rich Hall, and Harry Shearer. What a cast.
That's a great cast. Wasn't that around the time that Robert Downey Jr. was on SNL?
He was on the following year with John Lovitz, Randy Quaid, and Joan Cusack. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's the one that was a year after Billy Crystal's. Yeah. So he did one season, I believe. That Downey Jr. only did one season as well right after it. Yeah. But what I was going to say is, do you remember his character, Billy Crystal's character, which was a parody of Fernando Lamas? Remember that?
Yeah.
You look marvelous.
Yeah, you look marvelous. I like the kiss me 2 times.
It's better to look good than to feel good.
Yeah.
And then he did Comic Relief.
Yeah, that's one of the famous comedy things that I know him from. They did it with Whoopi Goldberg and Robin Williams.
Yep. To help the homeless. That was fantastic. I mean, he's done so many different things. He even hosted the Academy Awards 9 times.
I know.
The only person who's done it more is Bob Hope.
Oh my God. His were so good. They were so entertaining. That thing in the beginning, that cold open when you do. Oh my God, so good.
It's just unbelievable. And he also won a Tony Award. He did a Broadway play, something that he wrote that was called 700 Sundays.
Yes. I read about that in his autobiography. And he was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Spoken Word Album for that book.
Awesome.
This is incredible.
Yeah. Talk about incredible. How many people do you know sign a one-day contract with the New York Yankees?
Or how many people could do that?
Right.
You know,
he got to do that one day before his 60th birthday. So what they did, they signed him to a minor league contract, and a day before his birthday, they had a minor league game, a regular game, but in spring training. So he batted first. He wore the number 60, and he actually fouled a ball. I thought it was a hit.
Oh,
yeah. He actually he gave it a good swing too. And he ended up striking out, but still, I mean,
that's
how many people do you know could do that?
Like nobody.
And he was 59. He was right before 60. How many people can take a major league pitch? And they had interviewed the pitcher before the game, and he said, "I'm not going to lighten up. I'm going to throw what I got."
Yeah,
and he did. Yeah. So very impressive.
Wasn't he involved somehow in that movie 61 about Mickey Mantle and Roger
Maris? Yeah. He directed it.
Okay. Yeah. I felt,
well, he's a Yankee fan.
That's what I'm saying, bringing that up. I'm like, wait a minute. I think there's another connection there. So that's probably one of the reasons why he got to do that thing.
Yeah. Well, make no mistake, in City Slickers, he wore a Mets hat.
Yes, he did.
All right, but he's a Yankee fan. But he grew up a Yankee fan.
He wore a Mets hat, but he told a story about his best day being with his dad going to Yankee Stadium.
Right.
And I think that was a real story.
I believe it was.
I think I read that in
Yeah.
his book.
Yes,
That
I
was a
believe
real
it was.
story. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, you know, when he writes it, he puts his own life's,
Yeah.
you know,
Of
things
course.
in there, you
Of
know.
course.
So he has another one, a movie that just came out last year called Here Today.
That's with Tiffany Haddish, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but it looks good. I want to see it.
I do too. And then the thing that he's doing now, he's back on Broadway.
Is he?
Yeah, Mr. Saturday Night is on Broadway at the Nederlander Theater on West 41st Street, and it starts on March 29th. This guy's
Timely.
73 years old. This guy has had some career and some
Well,
versatile career.
you got to keep going. I
Oh,
mean, if you've got something to do, you stay alive,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. You got to keep the mind and the
Y-
body
yeah,
working.
You
Yeah,
got to keep doing it. I mean, look
I
at Betty
agree.
White. We were just,
Oh,
talking about she's 99 years old. She was almost 100.
yeah.
Still
And she
working.
worked. She worked the whole
Yeah.
time. I know.
So,
So
there's
good.
something to be said for that.
I think so too. I love how connected the movies and actors were with our choices. We went from Clue and Tim Curry to City Slickers and Billy Crystal. How cool was that, huh?
Yeah, I really like that a lot.
Yeah. Oh, you ready to wrap this thing up?
I think so.
All right. We appreciate you listening. With that, we're out of here.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.